Uh, I was born in 1930 on a farm outside of Nevada, Missouri.
Is that where you grew up? Did you live there for a while?
First 12 years.
So what was it like growing up on the farm?
What I can remember about it is pretty rough.
Yeah.
Not much money. We didn't buy much.
Okay.
We raised most of our beef and pork, and we lived on a farm, and out in the country there is you raise everything you ate if at all possible.
Right.
We grew eight hogs and beef and raised a big garden, and we didn't buy a whole lot. My dad was John and my mother Beulah.
Okay. What were they like as parents?
My dad was from a big family, 16 kids, and my mother was, I think, just 3 kids, all they had. And folks knew what to do, when to buy, when to take it easy, and not. And we got by pretty good. What I remember right is you don't lie, you don't cuss, and you just a good person.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like
and honest.
Right. Sounds like you all probably had to do your part as well. You know, how many siblings did you have?
Oh, there's 3 of us.
3 of you. What were their names?
My sister was Louise, and my brother was Eugene.
Okay.
She was a redhead, and she got teased a lot by that, by me sometimes. But she was a pretty good person, I guess. She was 4 years younger. Yes, when we went to school, we had a one-room school, and all 8 grades and they only had maybe 12 pupils there.
Okay.
And sort of, especially when she started school, sort of I had to look out for a little kid. Well, he was so much younger than I was. I don't know, I think he was pretty smart, though. For the first few years, I got along pretty good. I can still remember that at school. And then there was a family that moved in, and they had 2 boys that was older than I was, but they sure liked to pick on me. And then one day, I had enough. And I took on 2 boys, older than me. Good thing the teacher stopped.
Do you remember how your parents reacted to that? Did they know about it?
I didn't tell them, but they found out about it.
Yeah. Were they mad at you?
No, they never said too much about it, but just be good to everyone and try to stay out of trouble. I had what I call my cow, you know.
Oh,
I claimed her when it was just a baby calf. And I never did learn how to milk her though until later.
do you remember her name?
Blondie.
Blondie? Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I had a few boys that most of them were older than me, but once in a while one of them would stay all night with them, and we were pretty close.
What would you guys do for fun, or?
We had horses. We didn't have a tractor back when I was real young, and that's how we did our farming, is horses. The first 8 years was the same teacher. It was a teacher, but we had moved from Independence, Missouri up to Independence, so we had a different teacher, but it's the same one-room school.
Right.
Usually everything went pretty smooth, but once in a while someone would get a spanking.
Okay.
Well, we were living there when I got drafted into the Army,
Okay.
so at that time I was working at Armco Steel.
Oh, okay. When did you start working in Armco? Do you know about how old you were?
I was, let's see, about a year or so out of high school
Okay.
when I started.
Do you remember when you met Janet?
Yes,
How old were you then? About?
I must have been 20 at least, 21 probably.
Okay.
On a blind date.
Okay. Who set that up?
Well, my sister did. My best friend, she wanted to go with him, so she got me a date with my wife, Janet, and I got her a date with my best friend.
How did your sister know Janet?
They met in school.
Okay, so they were kind of friends.
Yes.
Okay. And so you knew about Janet before you went on the date? Just that they were friends?
That's it. I never saw her before.
Okay. Do you remember your first kiss with Janet?
Yeah, well, the first one I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand. Remember about how old you were when you were drafted?
21.
What did you do in the military?
After I got a basic training, I went to school and learned some things about railroad. And then when I was in it about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, and then they sent me to Alaska, and they had a railroad on the Army base, and that's what I did the rest of my Army career.
Yeah. What was it like during the draft? Were there several people drafted before you, and you just waited until you were called?
Yes.
Had that been going on for months or years before you were called, or?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. We weren't in war then, but it was pretty close.
Okay.
I think they realized they better get a bunch of
So
fighting men.
this would have been around the 50s. What war was getting started? What
Korean War.
Korean War? What were your feelings when you were drafted? Were you...
I didn't know what to expect, really.
Yeah.
Didn't take long to find out, though.
Were you ever planning on being in the military if you hadn't been selected?
No.
Okay. You would have just probably kept working
Yes.
in the steel mill. When did you get married?
Well, I was en route. They gave me so many, I don't know, week or so, maybe 2 weeks, to get from one place to the next. And during that time, I married Jen.
So was that before you went to Alaska? Or
Yes.
how did you know that she was the person you wanted to spend the rest of your life with?
We were going together when I was drafted.
Okay.
So I knew her for a year or so.
Okay.
And my sister introduced me.
Do you remember how you proposed?
You know,
I assume it's pretty quick.
I don't know, we went together. It just seemed like we just knew we was going to marry one another.
Okay. How long were you in the war? How long were you in Alaska?
I was drafted, and I had a 2-year term there, and I was there over a year in Alaska.
When you came back, did you just start back up at Armco, or?
Yeah, I doing the same thing when I left.
And it was like making bolts mainly,
More than that.
nuts and bolts. How did you get into that line of work?
Just lucky, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. They gave me a test, and they found out I better in mechanics, so I think that's why I got. They put me in. Wasn't it 30 years? 33.
33 years? Okay. Did you retire then? After
Yes.
33 years? Okay. Was there any other line of work that you wanted to do?
There was one line of work I didn't want. That was farming.
Okay.
I'd take about anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I got out of high school, I went to work for Armco. And they gave me some tests, and they found out machine type work was where I was be best.
Okay. What were the conditions like working there?
It was pretty good, except noisy.
Oh, right.
If you wanted to talk to someone, you get close to them and holler in their ears. Is that noisy?
Do you think that might have led to hearing loss?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah. Any good experiences from that job?
A lot of times, well, sometimes they had come up with a new product, and a lot of times I was on the team that came up with it, get it to operate on machinery.
When you're on that team, was it a lot of like trial and error? You would come up with ideas of how to solve a problem and just.
That's right. They trial and error.
Right. So yeah, that's what I've always heard about you or thought about you is that you were a good problem solver. How old were you when you had your first child? Was it after you had moved back from Alaska, or?
Yeah, yes it was.
Okay. Cindy, what was she like growing up?
She was my buddy. We did a lot of things together.
Okay. So she was the oldest,
Yes.
and so you would show her how to do.
Oh, like planting gardens
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did she help a lot raising the other children?
Well, she probably helped, yeah.
Okay. But mostly she helped you out. That sounds like.
Well, like planting gardens and stuff
Yeah.
like that, she helped.
When you moved back from Alaska, where did you guys buy your first house?
That was in Independence, Missouri,
Independent.
or right outside it.
Okay. Where else did you live after that?
Well, we just moved a few miles down the road on Hokie Road,
Okay.
and we built a new house.
What was it like living there? Did it have farmland?
We had an acre of ground, that's all.
Okay.
But I was working the hardcore.
Okay. Which kids were born there?
Cynthia and Sharon and, well, I guess Darlene.
It's okay. Well, I'll ask Grandma that too. What do you remember about Sharon? What was Sharon like growing up?
Spitfire.
Spitfire.
No, she was okay. It just she got she sounded awful.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm trying to picture that. What was Darlene's personality like?
Well, just I don't know. She was I don't know. We just buddy mine.
Okay. Okay. How has being a parent changed you?
Oh, well, like when I was younger, I would say my kids ain't going to do that, but they did.
What was Bill like?
He was my buddy. He was my favorite son, the only one,
Yeah.
and I don't know. We got along real good.
Okay. So what was it like having 5 children? Did you ever feel overwhelmed?
Well, occasionally, but I like it. I like the kids.
Yeah. Did you have any goals for your kids? Did you always hope that they would graduate or?
Well, I've made sure that, I didn't have any problem like that, but they all graduated. Now, that's what I wanted.
Did you guys pay for, their colleges if they went to college, or did you let them pay for it themselves?
Well, yeah, we helped them out.
Okay. What was Liz like growing up? Do you remember? She was the last one, and I know she lived here for a while.
Well, she's a pretty good kid, for a kid. And I was proud of her because she was a cheerleader in high school, and it seemed like a lot of the kids liked her, you know, so I was proud of her.
How do you feel now about being a grandparent? Do you like having a big family?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd sure recommend it.
That's
Well, I believe in one God, and He's supreme, and He made everything, and I want to be on His side.
But it sounds like you believe in an afterlife then?
Yes,
What do you think? What do you think the afterlife will be like?
I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be real nice.
Yeah. Okay, so these are kind of just general questions. That's all the specific questions I have, but these will just be more general. And if you can come up with something, that's fine. But if you can't think of anything, then that's fine too. These might be more difficult. Who has been the most important person in your life?
I guess my wife.
Okay. Why do you feel that way?
Well, she's my best buddy, and she's smarter than me.
What was the happiest moment of your life so far? Or just one moment where you feel like you were really happy?
Yeah,
I'm sure there were several.
I've had several like that, and I remember one time I was working at Armco, and we was working on a product there, a bolt, and we tried it and tried, and I went to home that night and I prayed about it, thought about it, and the next morning I came back, the engineer said, or I told the engineer, I got an idea, and I don't want you to laugh at it, but I'd like to try it. And he says, well, tell me what it is. I started telling him about it, and he says, I had the same dream.
No. Huh.
And it worked.
Yeah, no, that's inspirational. What about the saddest moment?
You know, I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a while. You know, I've had a pretty good life. Most things I've tackled, I've been able to follow through with.
Do you feel like your life is any different than you had imagined? Some people dream of a certain life and then it turns out differently. Other people just kind of take it as it comes. You know, just... do you feel like it's any different?
No, I got a pretty good job at Armco, and I was pretty happy with that. And it's what I liked. And
Do you feel like your life turned out better than you expected?
it did.
Is there any wisdom you want to pass down to future generations?
I think don't give up too quick. Give it a chance, you know. Really think about it, pray about it. Lots of times you can work something out that will surprise you even.
How would you like to be remembered?
Just that I was good grandpas.
Yeah, that's not gonna be tough. Okay. I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah.